Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I am so excited to see all of you. I know we haven't had Soul Sage Sundays in a while, but we are here, and I think y'all can hear me. I'm going to go right to the chat. Hi, Rashima. Hello, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Skatra. Welcome back. Hello, Nat Nat. Welcome back, Nat Nat. I have not forgotten you. Just so you know, I had to send an email to Gmail to fix something. But I would expect that you should probably get it sometime tomorrow. If not, I'll have to send it from a different email address. But I got you covered, and I have not forgotten. But tonight is Soul Sage Sundays. So for those who have never been to Soul Sage Sundays, this live is all about just the journey in general, right? So you can ask questions, you can share information with one another, all that good stuff. But normally I have a couple of topics that I'll cover, and then I'll just pull general cards for the collective. All right. So again, thank you all for joining us for Soul Sage Sundays. I'm excited. And so our first topic is the guilt trip. Let's talk about it. For those of you who have, if you've ever been in a situation with somebody where, for example, let's just say you're sitting with a friend and you explain something to this friend, and this friend feels like whatever you said might possibly be aligned to them. So maybe they think that you're hinting around talking about them, but that may not necessarily be the case. And so let's just say that this friend says to you, or let's say that you tell this friend, let's back up. Let's choose another one because maybe that's a little too complex. But let's just say you're talking to a friend, they ask you to do something for them, right? And then let's say last minute something comes up in your life, maybe with the kids, you know what I'm saying? Could be with your significant other, maybe it's with a job. But you let this friend know that, hey, I'm not able to help you out like I thought I would. And then let's say that that friend sends you a nasty response, right? They send you a nasty response. Hi, Duran. Welcome in, love bug. Good to see you. It's been a while, but good to see you. And let's say, that friend says to you, well, I feel some type of way because you said you were going to do this for me, and it seems like you don't never have time. Let me tell y'all something. Stop allowing people to guilt trip you. You may have initially, said, hey, I'm going to be able to do this for you. I'm going to be able to help you. And then you couldn't. Shit happens, right? Things change. Doesn't mean that your intentions from the beginning were ill-mannered. It just means that something changed. Maybe you had some things you had to do. It's that simple. Well, sometimes people have a way of guilt tripping us, especially when they have narcissistic tendencies. All right. So one thing that I have learned is don't let nobody guilt trip you. If you cut somebody off because they did something to you, or you decided you wanted to set a healthy boundary with that person, there's nothing to feel guilty about. At all. At all. If somebody, even in the event that maybe somebody did something to you and you retaliated, there are certain situations where you should not feel any guilt. Okay? For example, let's say, you got a sibling. That sibling stole your money, put something in your name, whatever. Okay, a lot of people, oh, well, and I've had this happen. All right, so if this ain't you, then it ain't you. But I've had this happen with several people in my life. A family member, they would come to me. A family member may have put something in their name, taken some money from them, taken their car, didn't tell them, and somehow, some way, it turned into an argument of, well, you're my family. I should be able to do this to you. No. The title of being family does not equate to use me. You see what I'm saying? So it's a very disheartening situation when people always try to guilt trip you. They're not honest. First of all, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most people who try to guilt trip you, it's a mirroring effect. So they are really reflecting from themselves. And so they want you to feel some type of way because they feel some type of way. Don't let people guilt trip you. Don't let people guilt trip you. Please don't. It is self-destructive. And it really is a narcissistic trait for people to try and guilt trip you. I don't care if let's say you were in a relationship and everything was good, but then that person said something to you and now they want you to feel bad because, oh, well, you said everything was good, but because I made this comment, well, maybe your comment sparked for me to make a change and set a healthy boundary. If that's the case, I'm not about to feel guilty that I cut you off. I'm not about to feel guilty that I stopped dealing with you on a certain level. You asked for it when you said what you said. And what you said sparked an idea. And that idea was to maybe just leave you alone. Maybe you just wanted to protect your energy. Do not let people guilt trip you just because you are protecting your own energy. Please don't do that. I have been down that road many a time. And what happens is you end up doubling back, right? You end up coming back around the block, spinning the block, and you deal with those people and the boundaries never really get set because every time you try to set a healthy boundary, here they come with the guilt trip. Another example that I get quite a bit as a scenario from people when I'm talking to them, I'm gonna take that because that flipped, is, for example, parents. There are some of us who have had traumatic childhoods. And if you get to an age where, and a level of maturity and ascension on your spiritual journey where you feel the need to address those places with those people and those things that happen, sometimes you get a person that is just, and of course it's your parent, they're older than you, you would expect them to have some emotional intelligence. Not the case. Not the case. You will get people who, well, maybe you don't remember that correctly, or I didn't do that, or you always telling people that I did this, but I didn't do that. Let me tell you something. The best thing you could ever do is to just go heal on your own, because that person is not ready. If they show narcissistic tendencies or they guilt trip you on this spiritual journey, a lot of us get on this spiritual journey, and again, we just think it's all love and light, and it is to an extent. But it's also about balancing your light and your dark. It's also about, for lack of a better phrase, if you will, getting to know your own internal demons, your shadow self, getting to know that part of you, and not to cast out the shadow within you. People get that mixed up, okay? Your shadow self might take things to extreme, but it's still necessary in your life. Everything must have duality, okay? Yin and yang. So if you have light, then you must have dark. And the reason why that is because God didn't make no fool. God didn't make you no dummy. So if somebody play with you and you decide to retaliate, now will you have karma behind that? Maybe. Depends on the situation. But sometimes you be willing to take the karma. You be willing to take that karma. Yeah. Because as soon as I said you be ready to take that karma, live out loud. That part. Because sometimes it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Duran said, hi, Nat Nat. Yes. You just got to know, don't let people guilt trip you. It is not worth the headache. It's not worth what happens to you internally. When a person guilt trips you, you second guess your intuition, first and foremost. Then the next thing you do is start to have self-doubt, secondly. The third thing you do is you then start to self-destruct, right? So first it starts out with, well, maybe I was wrong. And then it turns into, well, you know what? Maybe they're right. What's wrong with me? And then it turns into, well, you know what? They're right. I should do this or I should do that. Or, next time that person, this scenario pops up with that person, I'm just going to take it chill. I'm going to be easy. I'm going to be nicer. No. Nat, hey, she's speaking back. Yes, love the love. But I will say this. One thing that I have learned is that sometimes, y'all, it's better to hurt somebody's feelings than to keep going on causing trauma, drama, and pain. It leaves more to heal from. So sometimes it's better to end things before it even gets to that point of getting hurt or being played with. So if your intuition is on point and telling you that something is up, sometimes it's not even worth going to see what the hell is wrong. Sometimes you just got to get off the ship. You heard the alarm, you don't need to see the fire. Okay? Prime example, if a house is on fire and you hear the alarm, you going to look for the fire or you just going to get the hell out the building? Because I promise you, when we had fire drills in school, the bee's knees was not to sit there and go, fire alarm, where's the fire? Do you see it? No. Get your ass out of there and stop, drop, and roll. That's what that is. Stop, drop, and roll. Get out of there. It's not a safe place for you. With that being said, while talking about the guilt trip, we have manifestation. We have mask. And we have live out loud. Manifestation is card number 9. Mask is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. And then we have card number 31, which is live out loud, which is 3 plus 1, which is 4. Lots of 9s here. Something is coming to a completion. A cycle is coming to a completion. And if somebody tried to make you feel guilty or feel bad for setting boundaries in your life to protect yourself and to protect your energy, if they made you feel bad for choosing yourself, this is definitely for you. Sometimes you have to snatch the mask off people and just let them know that you are aware that they're being narcissistic. By you not allowing the guilt trip to take over your life, you can manifest higher vibrational frequencies to come towards you. Okay, that could be in the form of abundance. It could be in the form of love, friendship, whatever. Doesn't matter. But Spirit wants you to be aware to live out loud. Stop being so meek and mild about people playing with you. Your name is not Atari. Okay, I don't know if you know what an Atari is, but it's a gaming system from back in the day. But don't let people do that to you. And I'm also talking to myself because I had a situation this week where someone tried to make me feel guilty. And my response to that was, well, you know what? Since I'm the bad person, I'll take that. And when I said that, it became, I don't want to have this conversation. Why? Sometimes the way you deal with a narcissist is just by simply being calm and asking a question. Why? I'll take that. I'll take accountability for that. And what you'll notice with a narcissist is the moment you try to take accountability for what they're trying to guilt trip you about, it becomes an entirely different conversation. Well, why are you saying that about yourself? Why would you do that? They're then admitting that you're not the problem. But they're also admitting that they don't want to admit that they are the problem. At that point, y'all, all you do is just move on and move forward with the like, don't even continue the conversation. You just know how to deal with that person accordingly. You know how to deal with that situation accordingly. And moving into the future, you'll just be better about setting boundaries. And when you see a red flag, to just say, you know what? I see it. I'm out. I don't even have to be here. Because the reality is, a lot of times we get upset because we feel like people played with us. But the reality is we stayed to be played with. And at some point, you know, you already knew. You already knew that that person was going to take you there at some point. But maybe you thought, you know, I can see the better in somebody. Well, maybe they're getting better. Or, you know, maybe it's just me. It ain't you. It's your intuition telling you to get up out of there because it's a landmine and you ain't got time for that shit. You don't have time for it. Nat said, love the phrase, my name ain't Atari. Girl, we need a t-shirt. And we do. I'm working on that. And we do. I got a couple of them. Because, baby, I want one that talks about reciprocity. I believe in reciprocity. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I cannot be that one, that two, or that three, baby. I got to be the beginning. If you play with me, I promise you, you're not gonna like it. Because I'm not gonna play checkers, I'm gonna play chess. And I'm not gonna spend too much time doing it. I'm gonna ask the ancestors and spirit to take care of you and let karma play that out. Yes. And if you get on my nerves too bad, I'll be willing to eat a little karma. Life is about choices. That's it. Choices. It's not about being better than the next person. It's about, can I make better choices for myself today? That's what life is. But with this mask, there is somebody that might just be wearing a mask. Maybe they're not really telling you how they feel, or maybe you're not really telling people how you feel. Maybe you ain't told this person that, hey, don't play with me. You getting on my nerves. I'm not gonna have this conversation with you ever. We're not going back down that road. Because the last time we did, I saw what you did. You have to be specific with people. Because they will act like they don't know what's going on, look like a deer in headlights. Just like that. Well, what do you mean? But why? And you know good and well that they grown self know. They know. They know. They know. Every time. They know. And that leads me into reading the signs and the syncs. So there are lots of signs and synchronicities. We all know that some of our favorite signs and synchronicities appear in numbers, right? They appear in numbers. For example, I have 9 here, 1 here, well, 18, which is a 1 and an 8, 3 and 1, right? So to me, the synchronicity is that there's card number 9 and card number 18. Card number 18 is 1 plus 8, which is 9. So there are now 2 9s on the board. Let's talk about angel numbers, which, just so y'all know, are very much different than numerology, right? It's not the same. The numbers don't mean the same. Even in angel numbers, you have to be mindful of what's going on in a situation before you just take the meaning, right? So when you start to see like 111, that's your intuition. However, if you see 1111, that's a twin flame symbol, okay? Not all the time. It could also mean that you're ascending. It depends on your situation, and you know what that is. Twos can mean that there's duality or love coming in, but twos can also represent alignment. When you see 333, that is support, divine support. Think of mind, body, and spirit, the Holy Trinity. However you define that, threes mean that spirit, the universe, your ancestors are all coming in to support you, or they're supporting you on that matter. If you see fours, like for example, 444, fours are about protection. It's just the universe's way of letting you know that we are here to protect you. You are divinely protected. So if you ever feel like you are not protected or you don't feel safe and you start seeing fours, that's the universe's way of saying, I am here. I am here to protect you. Fives are about change. And it also means that something new is coming, right? So you'll hear me say when I see fives, big happy changes, because these are good changes when you see fives. Sixes mean to reflect, but sixes can also mean to balance, right? So sixes can also be about truth. Let me say that they can be about truth and connecting with your higher self. Sixes. With sevens naturally we all know relate to luck, letting you know that good things are coming, or that your luck is increasing, or you got good energy coming in, or you're reaping something, not necessarily due to luck. I call it good juju because I really don't believe in luck, because luck is almost like a pulled out of thin air, but it could be a miracle. So we'll take that. We'll take that. With eights are also about balances, infinite possibilities as well, because if you turn an 8 on its side, it's the infinity symbol. So that's something else that you need to know. And I mean, eights can also be things are falling into place as well. Things are falling into place as well. Nines means that a cycle is ending, or you need to release something. And then, of course, if you start seeing 10s, that's a new cycle to begin. That's why y'all hear me say 10, 10, let's begin. So when you see these synchronicities, and a lot of people will say, well, how do you know what the synchronicity is about? One, don't rely on the book or the internet or really another person to tell you what all of these means. That's why I'm just giving you high level what these numbers mean, because you can see numbers differently. For example, 252. That could be a change within love because you have two number twos on the outside of a number five. Fives are change, twos are duality, could also be love. So there could be a change in love, but it's a good change because it's a five. Now, let's talk about how you look at signs and synchronicities. We're not just talking about the numbers. You might see the number and some people go, well, 111, okay, I'm on the right track, or my intuition is on point, but what is it on point about? Let me tell you something. At the very moment that you see the number or the synchronicity, immediately train yourself to think about the thought that you just had, any conversations that you just heard, any sounds or things that you saw or smelled at the time that you saw those synchronicities, because all of that tells you a story, right? So that is how you read signs and synchronicities. A lot of people go, oh, I just be seeing numbers all day, but I don't know what they mean. And some people don't see numbers at all. They might hear songs. Because that's another thing that I have really, y'all, let me tell you, I've woken up out of my sleep because I hear a song and I actually think something is playing. I have gone to sleep and seen things like visions, I guess you would call them, because I'm not really asleep. I'm in like a in-between state. And that happens frequently. There are times when I smell things or I feel things or I catch an image of something, or even I'll hear somebody say something. There have been several times that I've heard a voice out of nowhere and I'm in the house by myself, but I'll hear a voice very loud and very clear, as if somebody was sitting here talking to me. And it will say something. All of these things are synchronicities, and just based on whatever spiritual gift that you have is how you receive it. For me, I receive things many different ways, but the way that I receive them and how I perceive them is always the same. Understand that your ancestors, that the universe and that spirit will always communicate to you in your language, not the next person. All right. So you might go to sleep and have a dream. And your dream may be about raging water. And you might think to yourself, ooh, raging water, something great is going to happen. But the way that I understand it, and that was passed down through my ancestors, is that dreaming of raging water is a warning sign that something not so good is to come. So it just depends on your lineage, what it means to you, what's aligned to your spirit. And nobody can tell you that. And for a long time, I interpreted dreams for people. And what I had to teach people was interpreting dreams. If you go to somebody to interpret a dream and they just start telling you what a dream means, don't take it. Don't take it. They should be asking you questions. And we'll get into that in just a moment. Rashima says, saw 222. Honey, them twos have been. And to be honest, in my situation, I was wondering, why do I keep seeing all these twos? So I really had to start thinking about when I was seeing twos. And it was when I was having a particular thought. I kept seeing the twos. And I'm talking about repeatedly, like I would see 222, and 1 minute later, it would be somewhere else, not on the clock. Like I might see it on the clock, but then I'm in the car and I got 222 miles till eat. I've gained on a trip 222 miles, or I might log in for work and I see 222 at 222 the day before somebody sent me an email, that type of thing. And I would see it all day long. So Rashima, yes, the twos have been out here for the collective. I'm glad to know that the twos have been in full effect. Also, where were we? Yeah, dream interpretation. So dreams also have signs and interpretations, right? So for example, I had a young lady come to me a long time ago, well, not that long, maybe about 2 years ago, wanted me to interpret the dream that she had about a snake. For some people are afraid of snakes. They might equate snakes to evil. However, snakes also could mean transformation because they shed their skin. So, and also depends on the color of the snake. If the snake was black or red, it might be a little warning sign. If the snake behaved in the dream violently, that might be a warning sign. But if in her dream, there was a little green snake wrapped around her hand and she was just playing with it. And for some reason, because people had told her that snakes are a sign of bad people in your life, she was like, oh my gosh, something must be wrong. And I went, it was a garden snake. They're practically harmless. And you were playing with it. And so I asked her, I said, did you feel negatively when you were holding the snake? She was like, no, I felt completely comfortable. I said, well, then I think the snake is a sign of an easy transformation. I highly doubt that it is a sign that somebody's coming to get you. Also, placements in dreams matter when you talk about signs and synchronicities through dreams. For example, if you see 222 in your dream, let's say you see it in the kitchen. The kitchen is the heart space. It is where you feed your family. It is where you pour love into nourishing your family because you cook for them. So when you have a dream and the dream is in the kitchen, it's talking about something in a matter of the heart. Okay. If it is in the living room, it is the present. All right. If it is the bedroom, it is your internal space, right? What's personal to you. If it's a bathroom, it could be a place where you need to have clarity or dispose of things. So the places, also the colors that people wear in dreams, the things that they say, the things that you smell. For me, when I dream, it also depends on the emotion that I woke up with after the dream. So if I woke up and I just was ill about the dream and I had an attitude, then I knew that it was something, a red flag. But if I woke up and I was completely at peace, then even if it was a bad dream, it was like, okay, this is spirit letting me know that something's happening here, but it's not going to affect me as much as I might think it will. So keep those things in mind as you go out through your day. I promise you, tomorrow's Monday. You will see signs and synchronicities all week. Whether it's, for example, I'm pretty high up where I am, right? So I'm on the 3rd floor. I've had butterflies. And when I say 3rd floor, we're talking 9-foot ceilings, which is why I have to have a mic, because if not, it will echo inside this room because it's so tall. 9-foot ceilings. So it is odd to see a fly trying to get in through the window in this room. If you see things like flies are normally an indication, or like little black flying bugs that just try to, like, let's say you're in your house and you know you don't have no nasty trash in the house. You didn't leave a door open or a window, and there's just a fly out of nowhere. That's an indication that somebody is wanting to be nosy. They spying on you. If you see certain bugs, roaches, they have a meaning too. Praying mantises. Apparently they're a sign of good fortune and luck, but I seen one the other day and freaked out because they are not cute. Those types of things. So normally what I would say do is always do your own research, because what it means to one person may not mean the same thing to you. Butterflies have meanings, but butterflies also have different interpretations of meanings depending on the color of them. And then depending on the cultural background that you have, it could mean something completely different. So just take all of that into account. Follow your heart, follow your intuition when it comes to signs and synchronicities. You know, do the research, yes. Learn about it, yes. But use your intuition within learning and researching so that you're not taking something that's not aligned to you. Because somebody might tell you, oh, a white butterfly means that someone is thinking of you. And somebody else might say, no, it's an ancestor showing up for you. When you see that white butterfly, the next thought that comes to mind should really be your intuition telling you what that means, right? And so we have to be mindful of that. You don't just see the numbers or the signs or the synchronicities. There is something that occurs either right before or right after or right as you see it that lets you know exactly what that sign is related to in your life. You can be seeing 333. And then maybe you were thinking about the person you were with. It could be God's way of telling you that you and that person are coming into a space that's protected by the divine, right? Or it could be a sign of some third party shit going on. It just depends on what you believe. And it depends on how your ancestors, your spirit guide, the universe relates or conveys messages to you based on your understanding. Spirit is not going to speak to you. Your ancestors are not going to speak to you in a language with signs and synchronicities that confuse you. They won't. So if you start to go down the rabbit hole and get confused, try simplifying it and checking in with your feelings as a way of determining what the signs and synchronicities mean. So that's what I want to share today on Soul Sage Sunday with those two messages. Let's pull up some cards and see what we can all see what's going on over the next week, right? All right, Spirit. Oh, intuition. Were we not just talking about that? There's a synchronicity. Intuition. All right. What else can we get out of here? Intuition. Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave that because I felt that jump. Brazen. Brazen. Yes, we'll take that. And there are synchronicities here. So intuition is card number 35. Card number 35. And that's an 8, right? And we said 8s mean balance, abundance, infinite possibilities. And 1 plus 7, brazen, is another 8. So that alone is a synchronicity. All right, Spirit, what else does the collective need to know? What else does the collective need to know at this time? Oh, and there we go. And this is cosmic power. And this is about duality. And it's card number 2. And let's be honest, at 8, when you break it down by 2s, is what? 4 2s, 22, 22? But this is Spirit's way of saying, trust your intuition because you are connected to the divine. Yes, you are connected to the divine. And Brazen talks about divine femininity that is outright, bold, courageous. And a lot of people think, oh, well, if I'm being brazen, that's more of a divine masculine thing. No, it is not. That is a spiritual thing. Whether divine masculine or divine feminine don't make a difference. And then cosmic power reminds us of the relationship between dark and light, letting you know that you are sourced from the divine and that therefore you have infinite insight and wisdom to tap into with that duality. There is no light where there is no light without dark. Okay. If you take a bright light in a room right now and you stand in front of that light, there will always be a shadow. And that is because in the spiritual realm, it directly correlates. You cannot have light without shadow, and you cannot have shadow without light. They go hand in hand. That's why I said, get comfortable with your shadow self. That little voice in your head, some people depict it as, you know, a little devil on your shoulder. It's none of that. Really, it is your shadow self is really there to protect you. And a lot of people don't see that. You do have to heal your shadow self so that it can protect you in a way that is conducive to your life without causing you trauma and pain. But at the same time, your shadow self is not meant to just go away. Your shadow self has its own sense of intuition. Yeah. Make friends with your shadow self. Heal that area and be at peace. You know what I'm saying? It should be like a board meeting inside your head. All the versions of you should come together to make important decisions. Yes. Scotcher said, love the learning. Thank you. Oh, you are more than welcome, Love Bug. You are more than welcome. And as y'all know, normally y'all see Jamie sharing a lot of stuff. I encourage y'all, if y'all know things, share them. Share them because sometimes you could also be giving confirmation for other people that feel like they know, but maybe they're not quite sure. Or maybe it's a question that you might have that other people may want to even ask. So you just have to be mindful of that. You have to be mindful of that. I'm about to grab this other deck, y'all. You have to be mindful of it. And share. Each one teach one. Each one teach one. I don't just learn about, because clearly I am a melanated woman, right? So I don't just learn things about African descent, but also Native American descent. I've studied a little bit about Buddhism, Hinduism, different religions. And that's how I came to the place of really understanding more about myself. And I've been doing it since I was a kid, like just learning about different cultures and wanting to know more about what that meant to me, right? Because just because you're not a part of a culture does not mean you can't find a commonality among it. That's why when you read about any religion, they have the same storylines. Every last one of them have a major flood or some type of raging water situation. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And so I encourage you to research, learn, be open to it. I'm not saying you got to practice whatever you come across, because not everything is meant for you to practice, because not everything is aligned to you. But it's like understanding that witchcraft and Wicca are two different things. You'll hear a lot of people talk ignorantly, and they'll be, Oh, you practicing witchcraft. Well, what is a witch? And that's what I lead with. What is a witch? And they'll say, oh, somebody that practices dark magic. Really? Where'd you get that idea? I see it in movies. The movies? Really? You didn't pick up a book? Because even if you read it in the dictionary, and I'm talking about not the Webster's dictionary, but if you go get the etymology of a word is the historical background behind it, right? It's not enough in the English language to just take a definition by its word, because the way that we use words in this language is quite confusing, because one word can have several different meanings, and one word can be spelled several different ways and have several different meanings. That's like the difference between where and where. Where and where. Either you wearing clothes or where were you? It's diluted and confused. But when you go and you look at the etymology of the word, you learn something. For example, saying thank you actually means I am in debt to you, which is why I recently decided that I wasn't going to say it anymore. I was going to find a better way to tell people that I was grateful for them. So I would say, much gratitude, and I try to remember that. For example, the word nice. I grew up feeling some type of way about people saying, oh, you should be nice. And then when I realized the etymology of the word nice is actually to be foolish, it made sense why I never liked the word. And it was speaking to my spirit in that way. That was a sign. When your body don't like something, when your mind instantly go, like something stinking, then you know that your spirit's trying to tell you something's not quite right with that. Listen to it, because it has meaning. I promise you it has purpose. It is your spirit speaking to you. There are just so many signs and synchronicities. And the etymology of the word witch actually means healer. So if you are a healer and you have somebody call you a witch, don't take it negatively. And sometimes that might take a little bit of getting used to, because we know it as a negative term, right? But I'll tell you a quick story and I'm gonna pull these cards. So I had a friend who I thought was very dear to me. We were friends for about 4 years, and I had a car that she wanted to borrow. I had 2 cars, and the one car she wanted to borrow, I had actually had from a previous relationship, and I was really trying to just get the car out of my name. And so she wanted to drive this car since I had it in my possession at that point in time. And I said, no, you can't drive this car because it still belongs to that person as well. I'm not the only one on it. I just want it off my credit. So I'm trying to work with this person to do something about this car. And she got upset with me because she really needed a car. And she tried to guilt trip me. And then when I wouldn't allow her to guilt trip me, she got angry and called me a witch. And to this day, every year she reaches out talking about how great of a friend I was to her, right? And my only response is that I was a witch. The etymology of the word. And the whole time she was calling me a healer. She had no clue. She had been taught that it's a horrible thing to call somebody. Not so much. Not so much. So y'all go Google the etymology, or thesaurus, I believe, has etymologies in it too. But the etymology of words is so important. The words that you speak have power. Words are spells. Let me say this again for you. One time for the Glorias and the Barbers in the back. Your words are spells. That's why the book of Psalms is so important in the Bible. Read the book of Psalms. It ain't nothing but a big old book of poems and spells. They speak power over your life. Affirmations are spells. Yes, they are. Affirmations are spells. So these are things that you carry with you. Not to be afraid of it, but to understand it so that you can utilize it in a way that's more beneficial to you and the people in your life. Be careful what you say to folks. If you're going to say it, mean it. Say it with your chest and stand 10 toes down on it. So far, we have the 2 of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the 3 of Pentacles. Yes. Yes. Scottra said, much gratitude. Right, Scottra, much gratitude. I'm working on it too, honey. I promise you. It's been hard for the last 2 weeks. I'm so used to saying thank you that I don't know any other way to say it. So much gratitude was the way I heard somebody else say it. And I was like, oh, I like that. That sits well with my soul. There we go. Justice. All right. Here go the synchronicities. We have the Two of Swords being clarified by the Justice. And last two cards just flipped over. We have the Page of Cups being clarified by the Seven of Cups. And we have the Three of Pentacles being clarified by the Death card. So there's a transformation or an ending happening within a dynamic. But there's justice coming in because somebody's got to make a decision. They need to get out of their head and make a decision. That could be you, it could be somebody else, but this is coming up over the next 7 days. With this justice card here, justice will be served. There is something that is occurring. This could be also a court situation. It could be. I don't know if somebody out there might have a court situation coming up in the next 7, 14 days, or even the next 30 days, but it looks like you're going to have some options. And if it's not a court situation, then it's a decision that you do need to make. It's a decision that you need to make, and you need to get out of your head when you're making this decision, right? So get out of your head when making this decision. With the Page of Cups, that's a new opportunity coming in as far as, you know, something emotional. Something emotional. Maybe you're having a new feeling. But whatever this new feeling is, it's about these many options that are coming in with this Seven of Cups. With the Three of Pentacles, I'm not... let me slow down before I say that. If there is a situation where others are involved, all right? And when I say others, I mean like it could be a working dynamic. It could be a group of people that you work with. It could be a situation. It could even be a love triangle, but there's something transforming with that being, with Three of Pentacles being clarified by the Death card. There's something changing in some type of group dynamic, all right? Or even third-party situation is coming to an end. I see something here in the Death card that reminds me of the Hierophant, which is interesting because I've never noticed it before. There is something shifting for something to be offered to you, another opportunity, something new. Something new, something great. All right, let's get an oracle card on this because I'm interested to know what's new. What is new? All right, Spirit, let us know what is new. What is, oh, there we go. I love it. Shine. This is your light within. Shine is about being who you are. It is about shining from within. It is about having a glow up. So there's some shine coming in. That's what is new. Shining is new. You haven't, like, just know that you deserve to shine. You deserve to have your moment. Yes, you do. You deserve to have your moment. You deserve to have your moment, love. And Spirit wants you to know that. Spirit wants you to know that you do deserve to have your moment. You have worked hard. You have made the change. You have made the sacrifices. And now it's time for you to shine because of it. All right, Spirit. Oh, we got another one. It went rogue. Okay. And mask fell out again. So there might be somebody in a group situation that is wearing a mask. But again, whatever this is, it is over with. And it could have just left out with this recent energy that we had with the eclipse yesterday, or this new moon in Libra. It could have also been because of the energy of Friday the 13th. Who knows? Who knows? But there are changes coming for you. So I appreciate y'all for coming in tonight and learning with me and sharing your energy as I share my energy with you and receiving a few messages. Just know that this week you will be getting some options. There will be some choices that you will have to make. And as you make those choices, remember about making the choice and shining your light. All right. If the choice that you are to make, if the other option is to dim your light, baby, don't dim your light for nobody. All right. For whatever reason that's coming out. I don't know if somebody's going to ask you to dim your light in a work dynamic, or if I also just heard somebody might try to take your idea. That is odd. But if somebody tries that, you just shine brighter. And remember that there might be somebody in your immediate energy field, whether at work or in a situation outside of work, that is wearing a mask, because that came out twice. So be aware this week of somebody possibly being around you wearing a mask trying to be fake. Okay, or even be mindful of yourself wearing a mask. If you find yourself in a situation where you don't quite want to hurt somebody's feelings, so you're afraid to tell them the truth, be courageous, shine your light, and tell them the truth. You know, I don't like that you did that, and it makes me not want to deal with you because you did it. And then let it unfold from there. A lot of times we are not honest about our feelings because we know that the truth can be more detrimental than the lie. And so because we know that the truth can be more hurtful than the lie, we have a tendency to just not be honest. But you deserve to live in your truth. You deserve to be happy in your truth. You deserve to be honest with people so that they know where you stand, so that you can continue to set healthy boundaries for you and yourself. And so that energy is coming through real strong over the next 7 days. So be mindful of that again as you go out through the week on Monday. Don't forget, we will be here on Wednesday with the Healing Well Wednesday. And then we will be back on Friday. And I might do a pop-up in between them. But Friday is free card pull night, as y'all all know. And so, yeah, we'll be pulling cards on Friday night. For anybody that comes through the live, again, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're feeling the vibe of this here Golden Tribe, baby, we would greatly appreciate it, and we would be honored to have you. We would be honored to have you. Hello, Simone. You caught us right at the end. Hello, welcome in. And Simone, just so you know, we'll be back Wednesday, live for Healing Well Wednesday, and then Friday free card pull night. But I do plan to pull cards for people on Wednesday nights of mine, because I figured that's probably your question. So on Wednesday night, Scott your car said, let me see, I just see it. What time on Wednesday? So it's normally Wednesday between 8:30 and 9:30. If y'all notice, it just depends on what I have going on. Tonight was a difficult night because I had to retie my locks. So that took a little longer than expected. But I'm going to go ahead, Scott, since you asked it, I'm going to set that one tomorrow for 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be up here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, doing Healing Well Wednesday and pulling cards for the collective. All right. All right, y'all. I appreciate you for stopping through and joining me tonight, because you could have been anywhere else, but you decided to be here, and I'm grateful for your energy and for your time. Right. I'm honored by you being here. And so with that being said, love, light, namaste, and Ashe. Good night, y'all.